All right, y'all. So we gonna try this again. This is your boy Akil McLeod back with another live video. The last stream was given way too much technical difficulties, a lot of buffering. A lot of people were saying. Some people said the stream was fine. Some others said the stream was terrible. So we're just gonna start this all over again from the top. I'm probably gonna try to give a quick recap on some of the things I was talking about from the last stream because I already deleted that one. Basically, the title of this video made it say, am I really in business, right? Just kind of give you guys some of the things, some of the insights, some of the thoughts that I've been having over the past couple of days. I'm just going to wait until a few more people hop into the chat. That way I'll know if the stream is crispy, if I'm sounding good, if they can hear me properly. I'm just going to give it some time. But let's see. I hope you I hope you post the first half of the video. I'm probably just going to run straight into probably cover a lot of the same things I was covering before because I already deleted that stream only because people said that the stream was poor. So basically, just a quick synopsis on some of the things that I was covering. Basically talking about wanting to get out of the reseller rat race, right? I call it the reseller rat race only because first, before I start, drop in the comments if you guys can hear me well, if I'm buffering too much, if this stream is better than the last. Just drop a quick comment. Let me know really quickly. I'm using StreamYard, so the chat is a little different than it would be on YouTube. So just drop that in the comment section really quickly. Just let me get like a thumbs up or just let me know that I'm good because I had to delete that last stream. I want to make sure this message goes out and gets to the right people, gets to the people that need some motivation, that needs to hear some of the right stuff. So just drop a comment really quickly. Let me know. That way I can run right into today's program. Let's see. It's doing the same as the other video. It gotta be YouTube. Still buffering a little better. Some people are saying it's buffering. This is crazy. I don't understand what's going on. Saying it's a little better, but I mean, hopefully we're just gonna have to rock out with this. I'm getting thumbs up. Hopefully this is better because I don't want to keep deleting streams. Hopefully it will improve as the talk continues, right? But let me jump right into it. So basically, I was talking about wanting to just get out of the reseller rat race. And what that means is that most resellers, we either start from home, so we would start selling items out of our closet, selling the things out of our house that we don't necessarily need or want. And, we'd start making some money. And then just by making that initial, first 20, 30 bucks on your own, it's a very good feeling. It's one of those feelings. It's almost like a high that I'm like still chasing because that first day where I made my first sale was just amazing. So still trying to just chase that feeling, right? Then I would call that the adolescence phase. Then the next phase would be more, I would call that the not the adolescent. The adolescence phase is I would call that just the immature phase, the baby phase, the baby steps. And then in the adolescence phase, that next step in business, you would either start, either doing more retail arbitrage like myself, going out to different stores, trying to focus on brand new products, right? So I would call that the adolescent stage because you're stepping it up a little more. You're not just selling stuff out of your closet. You're not just going to garage sales and trying to flip anything that you can find to make a quick buck. That next stage, you're trying to put more intent and more focus into what you're doing. Now that next phase, it was called, and I'm trying to quote this one book from Michael Gerber, The E-Myth. That next stage is called the maturity phase. That's the stage I'm trying to get to, right? And I've realized that within my business and within the state of the world that we're in right now, getting to that next stage is going to be a lot harder than I thought it would be. But at the same time, I'm trying to hone in on these things now. That way, at the top of the new year, I can have just some more perspective and be a few more steps ahead because I've realized that by just going to these stores every day, going to Ross, going to the Nike outlet, going to, the thrift store, trying to find stuff to flip. That's fun. That is a very fun thing. The thrill of the hunt, the treasure hunt. That's what we all love as, pickers or whatever you want to call us. That's the fun part, right? And that's something I probably will always do. But I feel like the next stage of business where you actually become a business is where and I'm not just saying become a business and form an LLC. I'm talking about starting a business and forging those partnerships and those business relationships that can propel you to the next level. And the next level can literally be either making more money or making your job, your day-to-day job as a reseller, your day-to-day business, making it run smoother. And for me, that's the stage where I'm in now. I tell people all the time, I was even telling my wife, as a reseller, I feel like this is something that anybody could do. Anybody can go to a store, go to a thrift store, buy something low, sell it for more profit. It's the easiest game to play, easiest business to start, in my opinion, and anybody could do it. The big difference is that nowadays, with all these stores closing, stores like Century 21, stores like Dillard, stores like Macy's, all these big box stores that we've all become so accustomed to, with these stores closing, the game is changing now. So we can always get cheap stuff. Like resellers can always find cheap stuff and try to flip it for some profit. The problem is that anybody can find cheap stuff. I'll give you guys a perfect example. I was in Burlington today. I was trying to shoot a video, but just didn't really feel like shooting any content. So I'm in Burlington, and I'm seeing that they had these suits on sale, Kenneth Cole suits. Usually you would get these from like Macy's, or even like a Macy's wholesaler would carry some of these suits. Very good quality suits, 75% off. The jacket was $10 and the pants was $10. Any other day, I would grab those up. Any other time, I would be the first person to grab everything up in my cart, try to flip it online. The big difference now is that that same deal is at every Burlington. Burlington can't move it anymore in their store. That's why they've slashed the price. I checked the comps on those same suits. People are selling those same suits for 30 and sometimes even less than that. I've seen some sales for $25. So people are making very small profit margins on these brand new suits. And it just opened my eyes to see that the reselling game is going to have to be a change, especially if you're trying to really make a lot of money with this. And I tell people all the time, the goal is to just be happy. But I know for me, I want to make a lot of money. As vain and as negative as it might sound, I'm one of those people that I'm the first in my family to graduate from college, to get a master's. And I'm just trying to start some generational wealth so that so my children won't have to work as hard as I did growing up. So it's a very strategic goal, and it's a reason why I want to make a lot of money. I'm thinking long term, right? So in order for me to get to those goals, I can't necessarily continuously just run to Ross or run to the outlet. I have to start forging more relationships with authorized dealers, with wholesalers, with liquidators. Just try to get closer to the actual brand before they get to Ross and Burlington and Marshalls and hit the thrift store. Just trying to start building those relationships, almost like that concept of like in restaurants, like farm to table. I'm just trying to get closer to, those brands that sell things only to the authorized dealer. So that's something that I'm really just trying to focus in on. The content is definitely going to change over the next few days, maybe next few weeks. I might not share too much because it might be so much new things that I might not even be able to kind of teach it and share it as I'm doing it, because it's all going to be brand new to me. But the goal is really going to be just to help people kind of navigate through this system, because I've showed people how to go to a thrift store, what to find, what to buy, how much you should spend, how much you should sell it for. I've showed people the same process with the Ross and the Nike outlet. So I think now I'm going to start showing just the inner workings of doing more wholesale stuff and just trying to work more exclusively with brands. I still think I'm going to be kind of straying away from clothing, only because, like I said earlier with that Burlington example, there's so many stores and clothing is at an all-time high to where you can get clothing for super cheap. You can go to any store now and get a brand new shirt and a brand new pair of pants, even a pair of shoes, complete outfit, $40, $50. We're not talking about like trash that you'll be wearing. You could wear some really nice clothes, a full Kenneth Cole suit, $20, brand new. So it's stuff like that, what I'm thinking about. I'm really just trying to spread that message, make people start thinking bigger, start thinking more strategic. Because one thing that I can say about myself, just noticing some of the flaws that I was having in terms of running my business the way I was running it. I never liked to schedule things. I never liked to be real stringent with my time. I wasn't protecting my time. right? And I realize now that I'm getting older, I'm still in good shape. I still look a little youthful, skin still looking good. But I've realized that in order to really take this to the next level, I can't just keep running around. I can't just keep trying to go to these different stores every single day, because that was my business model. Go to a store every single day, try to get as much as you can and flip it as fast as possible. Now it's more about how can I just work smarter and not necessarily harder? Because like I said earlier, just because you're busy doesn't mean you're productive. And when I read that in that book, it hit me so hard because I was always busy, but not necessarily being productive. So let's see who's in the chat. I'll share some more tips along with you guys as we continue to go. People are saying that it's smoother. I'm glad about that. I'm glad the stream is much better. Shorty Doo-Wop, hi Akil. I went home to visit family for the holiday. I'm from Myrtle Beach area. I stopped into Ross and did quite well, actually. I usually buy used, but because of you, I'm going to branch out. And that's the next step. That's great, and I'm glad that I inspired you to do that, because that's absolutely the next step. Like, I've realized just from experience, I was solely thrifting in garage sales, and I realized the sales I was making. I realized the sell-through rate that I was doing, and sometimes you could get some home runs, especially when you're in a market like Santa Barbara, California, where you're a very affluent area. People are donating insanely good stuff, so the profit margins were there. The retail arbitrage is when you start stepping into a deeper territory where you have to spend more money because you're buying brand new items, but people are willing to spend more when the item is brand new. So that's the next step. So you definitely want to start getting into that. But like I said, this message is more so for those people that I think are just trying to take their business to that next level. We got a $50 super chat. I definitely just peeped that. Father-son resales. Super appreciative for that. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Thank you. That's a big super chat. I definitely appreciate that for sure. But like I said, man, it's one of those things where with Ross, I'm glad you're starting to go into Ross, because one thing with Ross, right? I've been going just these past 2 weeks. I've been going consistently every single day, different times, just because I'm not sure when they're going to restock. It really dawned on me because I would go into Ross, see a pair of shoes, let's say a pair of Nike React 270s, $65. You go into the Nike outlet, brand new in box, those same shoes are $59.99 with an additional 20% off. So now you can't even necessarily only source in places like Ross or Marshalls, because the Nike outlet is cheaper than Ross and Marshalls now. And those type of stores were usually where you would get the best deals. So I'm just realizing, and I might be overreacting. This might be common. Most people might have always said the Nike outlet was cheaper. But for me, I'm one of those people that I've been blessed with foresight. And when it's time to make a pivot in life or in business, I usually can feel it. Like I trust my instincts, and I can feel that the tide is turning. With all these clothing stores closing and going out of business, this pandemic did a number on all of these businesses. So that's why they're closing. But with that being said, everybody's having clearance sales. So these same cheap items that we would usually buy and flip online, anybody has access to those items. So it's just something that's making me think a little different, think a little, just think with more intent, think with more purpose. And I went from solely wanting to sell the items that I wanted to sell. I love shoes. I've always loved shoes. So I just wanted to sell shoes. And I've realized that any business, there's going to be time for that. There's going to be a space where I can just sell whatever I want to sell when there's going to come a point for that. But right now it's more so about trying to build an actual business where I'm building relationships with wholesalers, and they kind of trust what I'm doing. They're okay with working with people that sell on third-party websites, because that's one thing that we're definitely gonna, once you start trying to build those relationships and reach out, that's one thing you're gonna realize. A lot of these brands, they don't like selling their stuff on eBay or Amazon. Why is that? I don't necessarily know. I can think of something random, but I don't necessarily know the real reason. So it might just be them wanting to protect the brand identity, right? Because that's super important. But I'm just realizing that even though there's going to be some roadblocks along the way, I don't have a brick and mortar location. I might not be able to afford the $25,000 minimum, but I know there's a way to kind of circumvent all of those things. And I'm going to just share all those things with you guys along the journey, because if I can share the thrift journeys and the Ross trips, I can share the wholesale journey as well. Let's see. We got Chris Cunningham in the building. Like your channel, been a full-time reseller for 20 years on eBay. That's what's up. 20 years. You a vet. You are a vet. One tip, sell what you make the most money, not what you like. That's a great tip. That's a great tip. And I think that's something that I'm trying to just pay more attention to. I was only trying to sell shoes. I wasn't even selling shoes that I would particularly wear, but I liked sneakers so much that I was trying to make that the main category. Now I'm not necessarily thinking of a quote unquote main category. If I can find a really good deal on something random like a coffee mug, I don't care about coffee mugs. I don't even drink coffee, but if I can find a really good deal, I'm going to start taking advantage of that, only so that I can use that money to kind of fund the bigger dreams and the bigger goals. Because like I said earlier in the video, the goal is to make a lot of money, because generational wealth is super important to my wife, myself and my wife, as we're thinking of the bigger picture. So money is super important, but at the same time, I'm trying to learn I'm trying to develop my business acumen so that I can teach my child and I can teach my little cousins and I can have them gain the same knowledge of how to really run a business and create a business, instead of just, look for this, find this particular item and flip it on eBay. That's a skill. That's like a picker skill, and that's super important. My kids are going to know that too. But the bigger picture of like how to run a business, how to build relationships, how to do accounting, all of those things, those are the things I'm really going to try to instill in the next generation for sure. So shout out to you, Chris, because you're right. Sell what makes the most money. Let's see. Is eBay doing more to protect sellers from being sent the wrong item? Okay, I'm gonna answer all those questions in a minute. I'm gonna get to every question people got. I just want to stick to the topic right now, but I'm gonna answer every question. I'm gonna get to all of those things. So I definitely want to still answer questions. I just want to make sure I finish up with this topic. Let's see. Try talking to your local Ross, etc., and make a private deal if you buy X amount of their inventory. See, I was always thinking about that. I was always thinking of, because that was something I was battling with earlier on. I would hear people say, make relationships with managers, try to talk to the salespeople on the floor, try to make conversation with the person at the register. And I would hear people say that, but for me, it always seemed slimy. It never felt genuine. It always felt corny. But I understand now, in the sense of you have to have a relationship in order to, get the real deals. The things that are open to the public, anybody can get it. But to really make better deals, you have to build those relationships. It was even this one thing I was reading about, the story of Walmart. He started his business by selling mattresses, and he was selling mattresses for, I think, $400 or $300, and everyone else in the area was selling theirs for $400. But what he did, he was buying mattresses wholesale in bulk. So he would buy them from the manufacturer. He would buy 10,000 at a time and sell them. And so his overall purchase price for one unit would be way cheaper than what his competitors would sell. So he would sell his items for $300. Meanwhile, everyone else is selling theirs for $400. And he just replicated that same concept over and over and over again. And that's how we have Walmart as it is today. It started out as just a general store, where it was just a one brick and mortar mom and pop shop, and it just grew and grew and grew. Now, I'm not saying I'm trying to be the next Walmart. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's a clear-cut example and a clear-cut picture to show that relationships are super important when you're in business and you're trying to be successful in this. That's for sure. That is for sure. Let's see. Yep, Chris said it's all about relationships. That's a fact. Let's see. I'm trying to streamline process so my teenage son can help. That's a really good thing. You got to make sure with the processes, write everything down. That's something I'm in the process of doing. So whatever you do on a daily basis, whether that's sourcing, whether that's shipping, write out the entire process. So from start to finish, how you start your day, how you end your day, how you source, what you're looking for, just the mindset. Write all of those things down. That way it can be clearer to you. And that way, when you want to help your son, he can actually see, okay, this is it's almost like like a business manual. You know what I mean? You want to create that business manual. That way it's easier for him to just understand everything. And I'm going through that same thing right now. I'm literally writing down processes every day now. Everything that comes to mind, I'm writing it down. That way it makes more sense to me. That way I can see it for myself, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I can kind of realize to myself when I'm just being busy and I'm not actually being productive. So it's important to see it for yourself. Chris says, go straight to the manager. I'm gonna definitely do that, because the funny thing is, when it comes down to building relationships and just being in stores, I'm a nice guy. When I see people, I say hi, and that always makes such a huge difference, especially when you're dealing with like security, loss prevention, cashiers, just the person sorting the racks. I would always say hi, make small conversation, not with the intent to build a relationship or try to get a backdoor deal, just by being genuinely nice. So people already, and I'm probably one of the few black guys in there that got locks and wears it up like this. So they all know me. So it's easy. So I think I'm just gonna definitely do that. Start talking to the managers, because they already knew me. They already see me in there all the time. They know what I'm doing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna definitely take your advice. I'm gonna go straight to the managers, try to talk to them, see what they say, and try to do it that way, man. It's all about just trying to get better at it. Just continue to get better with it. Love your ambition. Thank you very much, man. And thank you for your tips. I know you helping me and you helping everybody else that's on the stream. Let's see. My level up is to focus on large to plus size women. I notice when I sell to them directly instead of via Poshmark, they don't haggle me. They pay exactly the price. That's a good. I think the smaller you can niche down your business, the better. And I've never been a fan of having a huge store. Never been a fan of that. I've seen people try the volume game. I remember when I first got onto YouTube, everyone would ask me, how big is your store? How much inventory do you have? Because I guess the concept was always, you have to have, if you're not a successful reseller if you don't have an enterprise store, or you don't have at least 2,000 items in your store. But most of the time you go to these 2,000 item store, these 50,000 item store, and they're junk. They're stuff that nobody wants. And their sell-through rate is really, really bad. So I never was a fan of that. I was always a fan of quality over quantity. Even when I was thrifting and getting used stuff, if you guys remember, drop a comment in the chat. The stuff I would find in these thrift stores was A1 stuff. So the fact that they would sell so fast wasn't a surprise. I was selling Lululemon and Patagonia when it was at its height, when people was, clamoring for these things. Now it's not as hyped anymore, but I was finding really good stuff. So it's all about trying to fine tune and just narrow in on your niche, whatever it is. So if you want to focus on plus size clothing for women, I think you can really, if you can dominate that space, but just really focusing on that. Even if you're in a thrift store and you see something that might not be plus size, it might be something random, don't even get it. Focus on, what it is that you're trying to niche down on, focus in on, and you'll be good. Let's see. Oh yeah, Chris been in the game 20 plus years. Said when I started, there was no smartphone, no instant research. Yeah, that's how you know it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Let me see if we can jump into some questions now. I think I kind of hammered the point that I've been trying to get across. If you guys got any reseller entrepreneur related questions, we got 60 people in here. I'm gonna stay on here for at least another 40 minutes because the last stream was trash. I already deleted it. So if you guys got any reseller questions, any specific questions, especially like super specific questions, I know I might have to think of it on the fly, but drop it in the comment section and I'm gonna try to answer those questions ASAP for you guys. Let me go up back to that person that was asking that one question. I couldn't get to it earlier, but let me see. Starting it off, let's see. Is eBay doing more to protect sellers from being sent the wrong item back on returns and other scams? P.S. I went to Ross because of you and I got 6 pairs of Fry boots for $40 each and they go for 100 plus. That's what's up. I've seen Fry in Ross maybe one time, maybe once, but Fry is a really good brand. It's not as popular as it used to be, I feel like. I used to find it more often in California. and I would pick them up, and sometimes it would sell for some good money, but it just depends on the particular model. So I'm pretty sure you got some really good models in Ross. I haven't seen any since I've been going, so good job on your part finding Fry. When you say is eBay doing more to protect sellers from being sent the wrong item back on returns, I think they're siding more with sellers. When I first got on the eBay, and this was not a long time ago, I first started selling on eBay in 2008, very casually. Over the past 4 or 5 years, I've been really locked in. When I first got on eBay, they was always siding with the buyer. If the buyer said the shoe had a crease and I don't want it no more, whatever the case is, they're gonna side with the buyer. But now the seller protection is really seller protection. I've been seeing I've not been dealing with scams like that as much as I used to. I just feel much more comfortable on eBay now as opposed to 2-3 years ago. I feel like the complaints were very loud and they've started to adjust. So I definitely do think that eBay is doing a little more in terms of like protecting the sellers, because they know without the sellers, eBay will not exist. It's not like eBay is selling stuff themselves. eBay depends on the seller. So I do think they're finally starting to switch it up a little bit. And every now and then you probably will hear about, bad experiences with somebody getting scammed. They can't protect everybody, but I know for a fact that they're getting better. Let's see. Like I said, drop the questions in there. Drop the questions. Let's see. Shorty Dua, my problem is pricing, comps or my own pricing. You gotta do the comps. You have to do the comps. When it comes down, the comps is the comparative prices, the comparative sales, comparative sold listings. You have to check the comps. You can price your item for whatever you want it to price for, whatever you think it's worth. But the market is the market. So when you put something up, most people aren't gonna spend. They're not gonna spend more with you just because of you. If they can find a better deal somewhere else, they're going to find a better deal. So you just want to make sure that you're pricing your stuff according to the market. I know for a fact sometimes if you do have really good feedback, really good pictures, you might be able to price your item maybe $5 or $10 more, maybe a little, just 5-10% more than your competitors if your listing stands out. But in terms of like making up a price out of thin air and just thinking that's what it's going to sell for, that never works. So you got to check, you got to trust the comps, because the market is the market. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's see. Got a lot of good conversation going on in the chat. That's what's up. Keep those conversations going. You gotta help each other out in this reseller game. This ever-changing market. We got to help each other for sure. Let's see. I felt like I seen a question. Okay. Shorty Duop, how to stay motivated. So with motivation, right? I tell people all the time, motivation is fleeting. Motivation comes and goes. It's one of those things where one day you might wake up feeling really empowered, feeling really great. And then next day you're like, I've done enough yesterday, I'm good. The main thing with motivation is that I tell people you have to capitalize and seize that moment. When you're feeling really good, you're feeling really strong, you're feeling motivated, don't wait for tomorrow and put stuff on the back burner. Get it done that day. Not only is tomorrow not promised, but tomorrow you might just not feel like doing it. So you just gotta key in, like reel in on that motivation. Hold on to it tight and do as much as you can within that time frame. And of course, don't overwork yourself, don't overexert yourself, but make sure that you just, once you're feeling motivated, get it done that day. Another tip that I have sometimes when I'm not feeling as motivated, I might just take a break, and it might be an intent, like the purpose might literally be to kind of recharge. So by me taking a break, I might just listen to an audiobook and start cleaning up the house. I might do dishes, I might sweep the floor, and really try to learn something different. The last few months, these books that I've been reading, it just gives you a different perspective, and it gives you just better tips and just better ways on seeing the world. So for me, just reading more definitely keeps me motivated. It might be something I've already heard somebody else say, but but in the book they say it differently and it resonates with me different. So try those things, try to take intentful breaks, try to take breaks that matter while you're still, productive because you're learning. But when you realize that you're not necessarily motivated, don't beat yourself up about it. Just pivot, do something else, and come back to it. Someone says, Shorty do up, I passed on a pair of hunter boots for $69. Did I mess up? I mean, that sounds pretty retail price, so I don't think you messed up. I know hunter boots do sell for some good money, but at most maybe 100, maybe 110, especially nowadays with so many clearance sales. Hunter boots probably not even selling for more than 100. So you didn't mess up. Good decision. Let's see. Okay, let me hop over here and see some of these other questions, because there's a lot of other conversation going on in the chat. Y'all keep it going. But if you guys have questions, put question marks in the front of it. That way I can see it, because I don't want to mess up y'all conversation, because I'm going to hop back into this chat and soak up some of this game that y'all giving too. Let's see. For me, the quality of pics, I know for sure get me the sales. Absolutely. The pictures are super important. So with eBay in particular, eBay and Poshmark, I would say eBay, of course, favors photos with white backgrounds. I don't know if you guys can see it, but before I got this whiteboard, I was literally taking photographs on this white desk because it was just a white plain background. So eBay clearly, whatever the algorithm is called, they clearly favor white backgrounds. Google favors white backgrounds as well. And most items on eBay, you can also find it on Google. So they work in tandem. So you definitely want to make sure that, your photos are crispy. Your title is also one of those things that convert sales really well. Probably the most important part, because some people would, if the photo is probably bad lighting or, is maybe kind of mess, even if your feet is in the picture, if the title is right and it goes up to the top of the search and somebody's searching for that particular item and the price is right, they'll just buy it. You know what I mean? I know I've done that several times, but I know for a fact photos super, super important. Super important. Let's see. My man Chris dropping gems. Once you get established relationships, you should net 5 times your investment. And that's the goal. That's the goal. I'm trying to make sure that I, nurture those relationships, forge real positive relationships, and just see more money. Just see more money without having to drive around to 5 stores. I'd rather see 5 times the money as opposed to spending 5 times the gas. So definitely valid points right there. What are the top 5 tips for an eBay newbie? I just don't like the platform visually, and nor do I understand it. So with eBay, it's way more complicated than Poshmark. I think the first 5 tips, and if anybody else has any other tips, drop that in the comment section too. That way we can all kind of share this game. But when it comes down to just 5 tips off the top of my head, you definitely want to invest in a scale, because if you're selling clothing, you're selling shoes, you got to put the actual dimensions in onto eBay shipping platform. And Poshmark is different. You don't necessarily need a scale. As long as it's under 5 pounds and you can kind of just eyeball it and kind of like just shake it a little bit, you say, okay, maybe this isn't 5 pounds, good to go. But you definitely need a scale. The next thing, if you're already selling on Poshmark and stuff like that, I'm not going to tell you get lights and backgrounds and all that stuff, because you probably already do have that. So you just want to make sure that you have that scale. That way you can weigh all your stuff. The next big tip for eBay that's super different is the titles. Like the title in the overall like description, there's so much more details involved, item specifics, they like to call it in eBay, that's not in Poshmark. You're just going to have to kind of just spend more time listing. The listing process can be, I'm not going to say super long, but it's a lot more time involved in listing. So you definitely want to just get familiar with item specifics, which ones are super important, which ones actually make a huge difference in terms of converting a sale. Those types of things are super important and only relates to eBay. eBay is making so many more item specifics than any other platform. That is kind of annoying, but I understand why they're doing it. Some other tips that I'm trying to think of off the top of my head that only specific to eBay. We covered shipping. We covered the item specifics. Promoted listings. I would say if you're brand new to eBay, you're definitely going to want to promote your listings, only because eBay is not going to be familiar with your platform, with your eBay store, or even if you don't have a store, eBay is not familiar with your account. So the best way for you to kind of get some more eyeballs on your items, you want to promote it. For me, I use promoted listings 1%. Some people do the highest percent possible. Some people do 5, 7. They juggle around. For me, I just do 1%, and it works. I convert a decent amount of sales, and it works for me. I usually promote just about everything unless it's a super rare item. But yeah, definitely want to get familiar with promoted listings. It's only 3 that I got off the top of my head right now. If something else comes to me, I'll let you know for sure. But that's some of the few things that definitely come to mind. Let's see. How do you handle low ball offers? So I don't accept offers in my store. Just earlier today, I was thinking if I should start to switch things up in the sense of starting to accept offers on certain items, and maybe, I don't know. I was just tinkering with the idea because I was trying to go through a complete overhaul of the business and what I'm doing and what I should change. And I was thinking of doing it, but personally, ever since I've stopped accepting offers, my business is much smoother and I'm not annoyed as much. I used to be super annoyed every time I look in my phone. It's a lowball offer. It's a stupid message. Now it's either a stupid message or a thoughtful message and somebody's like really inquiring about an item, or it's a sale. Before, I would get a ton of lowball offers and it would stress me out. It would make me upset. So I just stopped accepting offers and it's done wonders to me. But when I was dealing with lowball offers, the one thing that I would do, one thing to do, definitely counter. You always want to make sure you counter because some people, they want to see a little discount. They want to see something. So you definitely still want to counter, give them maybe $5, $6 off. But outside of that, I mean, lowball offers are going to happen. If Poshmark finds a way where you can just list your price without accepting an offer, I'll be back on that platform so fast, and I'll be just as passionate about it as I was before. The sharing still will piss me off, but I can kind of get over that. It's the offers that, because you can't remove offers, is why I'm not a fan of that platform anymore. Let's see. I got rid of offers or set it in eBay to accept the lowest price I'd take. Yeah, that's another good tip. I forgot about that. Like, you can set your offers. You can like have a limit. So you can say automatically accept or automatically decline offers if they're less than $50 and my item price is 100. If it's less than 50, automatically decline it. And you can automatically accept items if it's, say, over 70. So you can kind of fine tune your best offers that way. That way, if you have $100 item and someone's sending you an offer for $10, you don't even have to see it. So that can be something good for your mental health as well. But for me, I just stopped accepting offers altogether. And the downside to not accepting offers is that your store wouldn't be as engaged and you wouldn't see as much activity, which might hurt your store long term. I'm not exactly sure. I'm just guessing, but it might negatively affect your store. But the flip side to that is that if you're not accepting offers, you need to be in your store daily. You need to check the comps and the market for your items on the regular, because the market fluctuates so often. You might find a shoe that at one point was selling for $150. 2 weeks later, it's barely selling for $100. So if you're still priced at $150, your item is never going to sell. So you always want to make sure you're staying on top of it like that. But for me, I just prefer not to deal with offers. It's just too much of a headache. Too much of a headache. Akil, you are doing well and remind me of me 20 years ago. That's what's up. That's what's up. Thank you. Let's see. Every morning I receive messages from the eBay app to lower my price on certain items. Is this common? No, I actually never get that message. I mean, that might be something new. I might need to update my phone because they probably are sending me messages like that and I'm just not getting it. But if I were you, just don't trust eBay to tell you to drop the price. Check the market for yourself. See the last 30 days worth of sales or the last couple weeks of sales, and just check it for yourself. Especially if you're selling shoes or you're selling clothing, just check the market for yourself. That way, because it's very weird how eBay says certain items are trending at a certain price. And if you try to list that same item in, let's say, a different size or a different color, it's trending at a different price as well. So I don't necessarily trust that that trending metric or that suggested price. I don't trust it. I think it's based on a lot of different factors that's kind of out of our control. So you just want to make sure you're monitoring the market yourself. Let's see. I have trouble with lighting. I use 2 lamps. Should I invest in a large light box? If you use 2 lamps, I would probably say make sure you're not using those yellow bulbs. I think they're called like daylight color, that yellow color. Make sure that they might like just that white bright light, like the 2 lights that's in front of me right now. You want to make sure that you got bulbs like that. Try to get those bulbs first, see if they make a difference. If you still think it's not bright enough, then I might suggest getting a light kit. I have like an affiliate link from Amazon for the same one that I used. I think it's called Photo Studio or something like that on the side of these lights. I don't remember the name, but it's kind of pricey. It's like anywhere between $150 to $200 depending on which ones you choose. So I would say probably just try to switch up the bulbs, try to get higher watt bulbs too, so that they're brighter. But I wouldn't say investing in lights is super important. I've had these lights for years. When I was blogging and I had a home photography studio, I had these lights. So when I transitioned into reselling, I just used the same lights. I never bought lights with the intent for reselling. So just keep that in mind as well. Just try to keep your costs low. You don't necessarily need fancy light boxes and all that stuff. Picks are key. Spend $10 at Walmart for a trifold tall background and poster board base. Yeah, that's very inexpensive. Once you start trying to spend more money on light kits and stuff like that, it could get troublesome. But if you're making good money, it's super important to invest back into your business. So if you're making money where you can afford the light kit straight out the gate, go ahead and do it. But if you're kind of new, I wouldn't invest in lighting and stuff like that. Not yet. Let's see. Monica says shipping with eBay could cost you lots of money, so make sure to weigh before listing. Absolutely, you definitely want to weigh your items. And also be another tip that I got for that person that wanted tips on eBay for beginners. You got to get familiar with the different packaging for eBay. So USPS has a ton of different priority boxes. They have a ton of different like first class weights and sizes and all those types of stuff, different bags. You just want to get familiar with all of them. So before you even start selling, you just want to just open the shipping options and just start scrolling through and get familiar with them, familiar with the dimensions. That way, once you start eyeballing certain stuff in the store, you will know, okay, this package, this item should fit in a padded flat rate bag. The padded flat rate bag would cost me about $7.52. So that way you already can kind of calculate what your cost, all of your costs will be. I don't necessarily use a bunch of different flat rate boxes anymore. I ship with pirate ship because it usually costs as much as like $9.50 is the most I would spend with pirate ship, depending on the order, of course. But you might want to check out pirate ship too to start saving some money based on what you're doing. Let's see. How much does a top rated plus rating help? So it definitely does help. So it helps you save money on fees. So your seller fees at the end of the month, eBay would send an invoice. Right now, I think if you're on managed payments, your invoice might only be for promoted listings or if you ship with FedEx. So your invoice might be different now. But when they were sending us those big invoices at the end of the month, if you were top rated, your fees were just a little smaller, just a little less, because I think if you're not top rated, what it is, if you're just an average seller, your fees are just the same. If it's like above standard, your sales, your fees are the same. Once you're top rated, your fees begin to decrease just a little bit. I think maybe 2 or 3% difference. And if you're doing volume, that could really be a huge difference. When it comes down to your seller rating, if you're below standard, that's when you can start to see a lot of like negative effects. That's when your fees are much higher. That's when I think that's really the only negative. Your fees are higher if you're below standards. So you definitely just want to be top rated and stay top rated as long as you can. And to be top rated, you just have to have good seller performance. You're shipping out your items in a timely fashion. Your items are as described, and your shipping cost is fair. That's why I offer free shipping. That way I always get 5 stars. And I think that's about it. And you also want to make sure that you respond to messages. So when people send you messages on eBay, the communication is an important factor in being top rated as well. So you always want to make sure you're at least responding to people when they send you messages. Let's see. This is absolutely a masterclass. YouTube Gold. That's what's up. I appreciate that. Someone else said one of my videos was YouTube Gold. The video I dropped on how to do multiple sizing and like create variations. If you guys have asked questions about that in the past, check the channel. I dropped that video, I think Monday or Tuesday. I dropped that video. I know it's not like super relevant to everybody, but I know that was one of my most requested videos, how to create variations on eBay. Mainly if you have, one shoe in 50 different sizes, a full size run. You know what I mean? Like instead of doing a bunch of different listings, how can you just do that one listing? And that video, not a ton of views, but I know it's helpful. So if you guys wanted to check that out, definitely go ahead and do that. Akil, got to run, keep grinding, keep working. You're doing well. I definitely appreciate that, Chris. Thanks for joining in on the chat. Let's see. I reply to all offers, even if it is the same price. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing people do. I know I used to do that too, especially on Poshmark. If instead of going back and forth and like constantly lowering my price, I'd give them my best and final price, and I would just keep that price. And every time they try to talk me down, I'll just keep that price. That's definitely a good way to do it. Let's see. Do you sell on Etsy? And if so, is it more complicated than eBay? No, I don't. I don't sell on Etsy. Etsy is definitely a big platform. It's more of like you're selling T-shirts and kind of like little knickknacks and handmade stuff. That platform is really big, but it's more like an arts and crafts website. Very kind of similar to eBay because of course you can sell the same type of stuff on eBay, but people usually go to Etsy for those types of craftsman stuff, type of items. Let's see. I was shocked to hear that you don't have an assistant or help. Is your wife working outside the home? Yeah, my wife works with me still with the business. She usually was helping with the shipping, taking the photos, stuff like that. But still just trying to take it to that next level. Let's see. Are you still mainly just sticking with the shoes? Yeah, so I'm gonna probably still try to, even when I'm doing these wholesale deals and trying to build these relationships, I'm starting with shoes, right? I'm starting with those types of stuff, but I'm more open to other items. I'm open to coffee mugs, microphones, chargers, like anything that can, bring in some good margin that has a high sell-through rate, even if the profits are small. I'd rather sell 100 a day of an item that's only making me $5 or $6 in profit. I'd rather sell 100 of those a day than to sell, a one-off item and make $20. Like I'm trying to just get it more consistent with that. Let's see. Is pirate ship better than I'm guessing better than eBay? I ship with PayPal. Is that the same as pirate ship? No, pirate ship is just go to pirateship.com. It's just a cheaper shipping platform, just way cheaper. I'm not sure if it's way cheaper than PayPal. I didn't even know you can ship items through PayPal, but for me, I've been using pirate ship. Let's see. Hey, Akil McLeod, question. I was thinking about pulling the trigger on selling new and used shoes on other platform. What's a good platform for shoes besides eBay? So I know a lot of people always tell me GOAT is a really good platform. GOAT, StockX. StockX is only if you have the shoes brand new and in box. GOAT, you can sell used or without box, new without box. Another good platform is Mercari. A lot of people always tell me about selling shoes on Mercari, how we sell a lot faster on there. Poshmark as well, but not a huge fan of Poshmark. But it definitely does work, especially if you price your items right. Let's see. I'm late, but just wanted to check in. That's what's up. Thanks for the support. That's what's up. Let's see. Made it in time. Just starting out as a new reseller, and your channel is so helpful. Thanks for all you do. No problem. Thank you. Waiting in the In-N-Out drive-through while I listen. That's what's up. People at In-N-Out getting their burgers and fries. That's what's up. Let me see. What do you think about daily content on YouTube, meaning doing videos every day? Now, that's something it's very popular on YouTube. I know a lot of people at one point was vlogging every single day. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that's something else that was kind of part of my older mindset in terms of being busy instead of being productive. Now, if I can drop a video every day and it's high value and it's like really good content, I'll do that. I've been chopping up some of these lives, and when I answer questions, I upload that as a video sometimes. I do that only because not everyone's going to sit through an entire live stream, and these are very specific questions that I'm answering sometimes. So I try to still deliver those questions in shorter doses, but the whole just dropping a video just for the sake of dropping a video. If YouTube is your main source of income, by all means, if you can do it, go ahead and do it. But for me, YouTube is not my main source of income. This kind of gives me that, like I'm an educator by trade. So I literally enjoy, helping people with their businesses and stuff. But if YouTube was my main source of income, I would probably do videos every day because my time would be allocated for this. But I mean, that's not where I'm at with it. Not where I'm at with it. Can you please explain how you can determine sell-through rate? So the sell-through rate, you can find that in eBay's analytics. I'm trying to remember the exact place where you can find it. I might have to get back to you on that. But the sell-through rate is basically how fast item sells based on how long you've had it listed. I'm not exactly sure where you would find it, but I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. But that's basically what the sell-through rate is all about. Let's see. I usually run sales from Friday until Monday. It gets me a good amount of sales. I mostly run sales on items that are selling slow, 25 to 30% off. Now, that's a good way to run sales, keeping it like a short amount of time. Now, when you run your sales, do you raise your price slightly and then give it a discount, or are you keeping your price the same and then discount it? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, because that was one tip that I know a lot of people a few years ago were saying they would do. They would increase the price on every item in their store by, say, 10%. Then they would do a 15% off sale. So it's really just 5% off, but a buyer seeing 15% off or 20% off for the first time, they're instantly thinking, okay, this is a deal and the sale is ending soon. So it's kind of like playing with, the seller, almost like a sales psychology type of thing. But you definitely want to sales periodically. I'm not a fan of doing it all the time. I used to run sales more often when I was doing a lot of like one-off thrifting stuff. I might run a sale soon. I haven't ran a sale in over a year. Definitely haven't done that, but you definitely might want to, yes, I bump up the price 5 to 10%. Okay, yeah, so you're doing it the way a lot of other people suggest people to do it. And I think that's the best way to do it. That way you're just kind of playing with the buyer psychology of it, but at the same time still maximizing on that profit. Goat has been flat lately. Went from selling no less than dozens a month to dry for a week. Damn. And I think that's really because all these stores, Nike outlet, crazy deals, Ross, crazy sales, not necessarily sales, but they just have the same type of stuff that Nike would have, the Nike outlet or the Adidas. So it's just tough right now. It's something why it's making me want to start making a pivot within the business, because all those types of things is I'm focusing on that as well. I'm not going to say I'm flatlining in terms of sales. I'm still doing consistent sales, but long term, I'm thinking that some changes are going to need to be made. Definitely multiples of items are the way to go. Yes, I think, especially if you're doing shoes, you definitely want to have multiple sizes. That way you can kind of bring in more of an audience, a larger customer base. My storage room now literally is looking like kind of like a Foot Locker, but I mean, it's all about trying to get prepared for that fourth quarter when the rush of sales comes. So I was really just trying to stack up on inventory and just be prepared. And I've realized I've been seeing a lot more success since I started investing more money into the business. So now I'm just going to start trying to invest more and just taking bigger risks. Bigger risk, bigger reward. Can you raise all prices automatic bulk? I'm not sure if you can raise. You might be able to raise all prices, like select all, and then just raise the price maybe 5 or 10%. You might be able to do that, but some people, they might have just certain categories on sale. So it might just be, they might have a store category for just shoes, and every shoe in their store, they'll manually go in and see just a smaller, you just use a filter and see just a smaller assortment and then adjust it that way. But I haven't run a sale in over a year. It's been a long time since I ran a sale, so I'll let you know for sure. But that's all the questions I'm seeing so far. If you guys enjoyed today's stream, make sure you guys hit that like button before you go, because it definitely helps the channel out. And that last stream was glitchy and it was terrible and I had to delete it. So this was the makeup stream for that. That's why I wanted to stay on here for at least an hour. But I definitely appreciate everybody. Shout out to that person that dropped that $50 super chat as well. You are definitely appreciated. Also, if you guys are interested in the consistency tees, we got them in black and I got them in white now as well. So if you guys are interested in that, I think it's in the first link in the description. And don't forget to use code consistency10 for 10% off your order. And like I said, thanks again for all the support, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.